Hello and welcome to BRU Photography. Today we are diving into the heart of this channel, my favorite vintage lenses. If the modern lenses I showed you in the last video are the workhorses, these are the storytellers. These are the lenses I reach for when I want character, unique rendering, and a tactile experience you can only get from old glass. Even if that means dealing with a bit of lens fungus or a stiff focus ring along the way. Let's take a look at the vintage lenses that have earned a permanent spot in my collection. The Olympus Zuiko Auto Macro 50mm f3.5. This is without a doubt my favorite vintage lens right now. What makes this OEM system glass so special is just how it combines macro with the capability of that signature Zuku sharpness. It's tiny and lightweight, but it punches way above its weight. Because it's a dedicated macro, the focus throw is incredibly long. If you're trying to use it for a quick photo, you might find yourself winding that focus ring forever just to get from infinity to a few feet away. The super multi-coated Takumar 55mm f2 non-radioactive edition. When you collect vintage lenses, there's always that slight fear of radioactivity, especially with lenses that use thorium. But this non-radioactive 55mm f2.8 is a total gem. It has a beautiful painterly bokeh that I reach for constantly when I want a softer, more artistic look. Compared to his faster f1.8 brother, it can feel a little bit safe. It's a bit more clinical and it lacks some of that wild bubble bokeh that you can get from its faster sibling. The super multi-coated Takumar 55mm f1.8. If you want that bubble bokeh look, this is the one. This is a classic M42 Powerhouse that proves you don't need to break the bank to get great results. It has a bit of a split personality. While it gives you those nice bubbles wide open, as soon as you stop it down, the bokeh transforms into a very distinct pentagons. If you aren't a fan of bubble bokeh in your background, it can get a bit distracting. The Helios 44-2 58mm f2. The Helios 44-2 is a total legend. This is one of those lenses that's truly sparked the flame for my collection. It's famous for its swirly bokeh and is currently a darling of Hollywood, having been used in movies like The Batman and Dune Part 2. It's notoriously finicky. I'm still trying to figure out the perfect distance to background ratio to get it to really swirl on my modern sensors. The Pentacon Auto 50mm f1.8. Speaking of bokeh, here is the bubble bokeh monster. This East German lens is a favorite for a reason. When you hit this highlight just right, the background is a bubble explosion in the best way possible. It's an all-metal powerhouse, but it's prone to oily blades. If yours starts sticking, it can turn a fun shoot into a frustrating one very quickly. The Tear 3AS 300mm f4.5, the Photosniper. This thing is an absolute beast. The Russian tank of my collection. It was originally part of the Zenit Photosniper kit, designed to be used with a literal gunstock. My copy has a broken aperture ring that won't go wide open, but I found it's actually great at f11 for bird photography. It weighs 1.6 kilograms, so unless you have arms of steel, you're going to want to use a tripod for this one. The Super Multi-Coated Pentax 200mm f2.5. I bought this because I was chasing the 200mm f2 look. It's a beautiful lens, but it taught me a hard lesson about importing lenses into South Africa. I found out the hard way that you actually need a permit to import old vintage lenses. It was a long story that almost ended with me losing the lens entirely. Even though I kept it, trying to get a bird or even a person in focus at f2.5 at 200mm with a manual focus ring, it takes some serious skill and a lot of luck. The Tamron Converto 135mm f2.8. This is a unique 2-in-1 design with an integrated doubler into a 225mm lens. It's currently living on borrowed time. It's suffering from delamination, where the lens elements are actually starting to separate. I'm going to use it until the image quality falls apart, but I'm definitively hunting for a cleaner copy. The Soligor 135mm f2.8. Finally, the Soligor 135mm. This was the spark that started the whole wildfire for me. My original copy is currently in pieces because, let's face it, I'm not the best at repairs, but I have a working version made by Takumar that I still love. It's middle of the road optically, and it has a very strange aperture ring that runs both ways. It's not the sharpest or the best, but it will always have a special spot in my heart. So, those are my favorite vintage lenses.